Welcome to the 2020 Mid-Campaign Report. I'm AJ Martinez, and it is my privilege to be this year's United Way Campaign Chair. For those of you joining us online, we're grateful that you made time to be with us today. We'd also like to thank representatives from our community partners, board of directors, campaign volunteers, company representatives, and campaign event sponsors joining us in person today. I know we're all really spread out already, but just as a reminder, when you finish eating, please put your mask back on and maintain social distance protocols throughout the event today. Before we get started with our program, I'd like to welcome former campaign chair Iracema Velasquez to lead us in our invocation, and Vanessa Carter with Lubbock County to lead us in the national anthem. Please stand as we're led in prayer and remain standing for the national anthem.
Pray with me. Lord, your word tells us to give thanks in everything. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you do. And thank you that you are our one constant. In the middle of all the challenges internationally, nationally, our state level, and in our homes, you remain the constant. You provide the peace. Lord, we are believing for your provision to be able to complete this race. Although there are challenges, the need of the community is still there. Just open the windows of heaven, Lord, and just bless us with what we need to cross the finish line. Blessings over everyone here. Thank you for the food that you have given to us, Lord, that we always be mindful of giving you all the honor and glory. And everyone said, Amen. God bless you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say doth that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow. I'm glad I didn't volunteer to do that part. Thank you, Iracema and Vanessa. I would now like to recognize our campaign event sponsors. This group of businesses willingly give above their regular gifts to United Way to help make this event possible. In addition to today's meeting, campaign event sponsorships underwrite other meetings held throughout the campaign for campaign cabinet, division kickoffs, and our final report at the end of the campaign. This year, their sponsorships also cover the cost of our kickoff live stream. We are very grateful for the generosity of these companies and their willingness to help bring everyone together. We have representatives of many of these companies in the room with us today. You will find a small token of appreciation at your table. Please take that item with you. If those of you in this room would hold your applause until I have listed all of the companies that are campaign event sponsors. Our 2020 campaign event sponsors are AIM Bank, Allen Henny Insurance, Alderson Auto Group, American Bank of Commerce, ATMOS Energy, Barricades Unlimited, Benchmark Business Solutions, Benchmark Mortgage, Beaton Bow Homes, Carr Riggs and Ingram, CEV Multimedia, Citibank, Covenant Health, Earl's Plumbing, First Bank and Trust and Prime West Mortgage, First Capital Bank, First United Bank, Fox 34 Rainmar Communications, Gilbreath Properties, Green Street Incorporated, Happy State Bank, Jack D. Thornton Incorporated, Kinetico of West Texas, KLBK KMAC News, Lone Star State Bank, Lubbock Christian University, Lubbock National Bank, Madera Residential, McMahon Vincent Hubbard, Park Hill, PFG Advisors, Plains Cotton Co-op Association, Plains Capital Bank, Prosperity Bank, Remax Lubbock, Rip Griffin Companies, Robert Madden Industries, Robinson Burdett Martin and Seawright, Sanford and Tatum Insurance, Scoggin Dickey, South Plains Electric Co-op, Southwest Bank, Star Care Specialty Health System, Texas Mutual Insurance, Texas Tech Credit Union, Texas Tech University, TXP Capital, UMC Health System, United Supermarkets, Westmark Realtors, Excel Energy, and Yellow House Machinery. Please join me in thanking these companies for their additional gifts and support in all efforts during the campaign. Again, thank you to those companies. The annual campaign is not about raising money, and while on the surface it may seem to be the case, the campaign is actually about the power of your gifts and how we can uplift each other through the work of United Way and its community partners. The campaign is about the more than 110,000 times annually that our community partners impact lives. It's about you and me doing our part to bring hope and light to every inch of the South Plains. To help us catch a glimpse of what that means, I'd like to welcome our Community Impact Chair, Kevin McConaughey, to the stage. Kevin?
Thank you, AJ. I appreciate all that you do for the United Way. Just want to talk about over the last few years, United We Read has become one of our favorite annual programs. On that day, hundreds of volunteers visit second grade classrooms all across Lubbock County to read the same book at the same time and to lead activities connected to that story. Thanks to our sponsors, every child receives their very own copy of the book and they're able to take that home. The purpose of the event is to highlight the importance of childhood literacy and to encourage students to develop a love for reading. Students have also had the opportunity to engage with local police, firefighters, doctors, bankers, and individuals from every sector of our community. We're overjoyed to be able to host the year again for our third year. Working within each school district's guidelines, we'll be reading virtually with masks and socially distanced to create a positive experience for our area second grade students. We'll be reading the book, The Word Collector by Peter H. Reynolds, a book about Jerome who discovers the power of words to connect, transform, and empower. We'd like to thank our sponsors for this year's event, and our sponsors include AmeriGroup, ATMOS Energy, Beaton Bow Homes, Covenant Children's, First United Bank, Scholastic, and United Supermarkets. Give them a round of applause. Thank you for our sponsors. Our third annual United We Read will take place in just a few weeks on November 5th. There are lots of ways to volunteer and to get involved, and we need your help. If you'd like to sign up to help, please visit liveunitedlubbock.org/United We Read. Last month, in a partnership with United Ways of Texas and United for Alice, we released a new report on Alice in Lubbock County. ALICE stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. In other words, people in our community who are employed but are living paycheck to paycheck with no ability to save for emergencies for the future. They also do not qualify for government assistance because their take-home pay is above the federal poverty guidelines. The median household income in Lubbock today is $50,505. However, a family of four needs to make approximately $72,000 to cover basic needs like housing and food and transportation and child care. This is a sizable gap, and it's continuing to grow. Think about this. In 2018, 30% of Lubbock County households fell within the ALICE threshold. Another 18% were living at or below the poverty line. Added together, that means 48% of our Lubbock County households are struggling to make ends meet. Almost one of every two households. But these are just numbers. Today, we want to move from statistics to real people, people you might know in our community, people you might see. We have invited community partners to share their stories of ALICE families that they've helped. For those of you in the room on the tables, you'll see stories about ALICE that we encourage you to take time to read and take in. Feel free to take them home with you and share these stories with others in our community. For those of you watching online, there's also a link to read these stories on our main page. We'll also include the link in the Facebook comments. Please share these stories on your social media and help us tell ALICE's story. I'd like to invite Joy Loper, Executive Director of Upbring, Nedra Hodgkins, Executive Director of the Lubbock Children's Health Clinic, Lena Scaife, Executive Director of the Early Learning Centers, and Glenda Mathis, Executive Director of the YWCA of Lubbock, to join me on stage. Each of these ladies will be sharing a story about ALICE. We hope that through these stories, you will meet ALICE, perhaps recognize ALICE, and recognize an ALICE, and that we can all begin a conversation about how we work together to ensure ALICE is thriving. Joy, will you start us off?
Sure, Kevin, thank you. I'm Alice. I'm a single mother, and I was employed full-time until businesses started closing at the beginning of the pandemic. I had no way to pay any of my bills, and in particular, my energy bill. My home is all electric, and I had, over several months, built up charges of almost $1,300. That bill kept me up at night. Utility providers had temporarily suspended collections, but I knew eventually those charges would come due. Once the moratorium on service disconnections ended, I faced the very real possibility that my children and I would be living in a home with no lights, no way to cook, and no way to cool our home. How in the world was I going to provide for my family? I'd never asked for help, didn't even know where to start. But fortunately, I got connected with Upbring. They used their emergency funds to pay that huge bill and helped keep our service on. Without that help, I don't know what we would have done. You may know me. I'm Alice.
ALICE households are making it work. They don't have a choice. Money is always a little tight, but they make it work. That's until an emergency, like losing a job, happens. Because money is tight, ALICE families aren't always able to build up savings. They don't have an emergency fund to dig into, and one emergency can throw the whole household into poverty or into homelessness even. Now we hear our second ALICE story from Nedra about a single father.
Thank you, Kevin.
am Alice. I'm a single father of 5 children. I grew up in Lubbock, and I went to high school here. After I graduated from high school, I went on to complete a degree from a technical college. I have a full-time job, and from time to time I do odd jobs to help supplement my income. I cannot afford health care insurance. I came to Lubbock Children's Health Clinic because of my children. They needed immunizations, and they needed a place to go when they were sick. Over the last 3 years, the clinic has become my children's medical home. Lubbock Children's Health Clinic serves my children even though we do not have health insurance, and they never turn us away. With their help, my paycheck can go towards necessities such as rent and utilities, but better still, they make sure my children receive the best quality health care. You might know me. My name is Alice.
The inability to cover health care costs is the largest factor currently driving households into poverty across our country. With Alice households working paycheck to cover these basics, few can pay for unplanned medical expenses. Many employers have also, as you know, had to shift the burden of health care insurance onto their employees. For those who can afford insurance, they are paying more in premiums and higher deductibles. Now in 2020, just imagine the impact of COVID-related hospital bills on an Alice household. It's one of those factors that we will not know the full effect of until we're outside of this pandemic. But we can make an educated guess right now that the medical expenses around COVID-19 or other COVID-related illnesses will have a substantial impact on Alice households. Ms. Lena, will you please share your story about an Alice couple with us?
Absolutely, Kevin. I am Alice. I am a full-time graduate student at Texas Tech, and my wife is a nurse at a local hospital. Our annual income is $63,700, enough to get by, but we usually can't put anything back for emergencies or savings. Our daughter is in elementary school. Our second child, a son, was born at the beginning of the pandemic. With 2 children, schools closed, and my wife needing to go back to work, we needed an affordable child care option. Before she started elementary school, our daughter attended early learning centers. Because of the great programming and teachers, she was ready for kindergarten. Plus, child care at early learning centers was affordable for our family. We felt comfortable coming back to early learning centers because we knew both of our children would receive high-quality care, our daughter until schools reopened, and our son for as long as we need. Because early learning centers is so affordable, our income is freed up to cover the cost of other things we need, like paying our rent. Both my wife and I are achieving our career goals, and hopefully, after I graduate, I'll be able to find a good job that will pay what our family needs. Hopefully, we'll be able to start saving and putting a little aside for emergencies. But until then, I'm really grateful that Early Learning Centers is there for us. You might know me. My name is Alice.
As Lena mentioned, American Progress reports that the cost of child care today, get this, is higher than the cost of public tuition in most states. This means child care is taking an enormous chunk out of a family's household budgets. After child care is covered, Alice households have little left each month for rent, food, utilities, and necessities. Also, while unemployment numbers are starting to rebound, what is not being taken into account is the numerous women who have had to leave the workforce to take care of their children. 2-income households have now become 1-income households, and many parents are struggling just to get by. We don't know yet how many parents and caregivers had to make these hard choices and what the long-term effects will be on families and children in particular. Finally, I'd like Glenda to share her story about Alice.
Thank you, Kevin. I am Alice. I am a mom of 2, and I was a wife. As you know, 2020 has been a really hard year. Our family hit our breaking point in April, and my husband and I separated. I have a really good full-time job, but I only make $11 an hour, which comes out to about $1,500 a month. By the time I pay for childcare, I only have $669 left to cover food, utilities, rent, transportation, insurance, and medications. If one of my children gets sick, I can't take off work because I can't afford the loss of income. After my husband left, I got sick and needed an emergency procedure at the hospital. And then, wouldn't you know, the water heater went out. Since my job was considered essential services, my children were in care at the YWCA when everything happened. I took the chance to tell the director about our situation. She immediately got to work helping us. The YWCA subsidized our child care, which freed up some of my income for the other necessities. They also connected me with Catholic Charities for help with the water heater, and they connected me to Upbring, who helped me with the emergency funds to cover utilities. The YWCA even helped me find a second job. Our family is stable now. I'm well, my children are in school, and I've even been able to set a little aside for future emergencies. You might know me. My name is Alice.
The easy answer to that last story might be to say to employers, just pay her more. But put yourself in the employer's situation and in their shoes and imagine that hard choice that they have to make. What if paying employees higher wages mean you must lay off other employees? What if you did a really good job as an employer at giving merit raises and you were fair and equitable, but you're unable to factor in the cost of housing, which locally here in Lubbock increases about 3% per year? To factor in that cost, employers would need to do actually a 5 to 6% annual merit raise to make gains and move out of the Alice households, more than you're able to give as a small business. We can make a strong, educated guess that the pandemic has pushed many families into the Alice threshold. The Alice households down into poverty. It only takes one unplanned event. And how many unplanned events have you had in 2020? There's no easy answers to this. But we've seen over and over again at United Way that awareness is the first step in addressing the issue. Through awareness, we've moved the needle on early childhood education, child abuse, and dozens of other issues in our 74-year history. We can do that with Alice as well when we all work together. As a longtime volunteer and donor to United Way, these stories make me proud to be involved with the United Way. You can see how our community partners are working together to wrap around families and individuals to be sure they get the support they need. If you're Alice, it's great to know you. You're doing great. You're working hard, you're providing for your children, and you're doing everything you can to make it. We see you. We support you. If you ever need a hand up, United Way and our community partners are here for you. If you know Alice, be the best cheerleader you can be for them. They're doing a really great job. If you see them needing a little help, tell them about United Way and our partners. If you'd like to know a little bit more about Alice, I encourage you to visit the United Way website at liveunitedlubbock.org/Alice. Thank you again to Joy, Nedra, Lena, and Glenda, and all of our community partners who shared Alice stories with us today.
Thank you, Kevin, Joy, Nedra, Lena, and Glenda. Your stories of Alice are so important. We will continue telling them while we work together to create change and build up our community. I'd also like to thank our valued supporters who themselves are Alice. Last year alone, 20% of our annual campaign, the overall campaign, 20% of it came from contributors who gave $5 or less per paycheck. Alice giving to the United Way. Thank you for your incredible generosity and your commitment to supporting your neighbors whenever and however you can. Now, it's time to report on the campaign itself. To begin, I'd like to welcome to the stage United Supermarkets CEO Robert Taylor and President Sydney Hopper to share about the first ever Jackie Pierce Charity Classic Golfless Tournament. We are very grateful to the United family who made a huge pivot this year and kept their commitment to Lubbock Area United Way and 27 other local United Ways in their Texas, New Mexico trade areas. Please join me in welcoming Sydney and Robert.
All right, thank you, AJ. As AJ mentioned, we did this year have to cancel our 29th annual golf tournament. It was not a decision we took lightly. At the time, our concern was we have a lot of folks that come in from out of town that attend our tournament and just didn't want to bring that many people to the city. At the same time, we also realized that the need this year is probably greater than it's ever been. In the 53 communities we serve, we support United Ways in all of those. So we definitely wanted to find some way to do something to give back. And as he said, I didn't know how easy it would be to sell a golfless golf tournament, but fortunately it was easier than we thought. Thanks to the tremendous support of our vendor partners, our team members, a donation from our company, we were able to raise $500,000 for all 53 communities United Ways this year. And on top of that, which makes us all proud for those of us that live in Lubbock, the largest portion of that, $116,700, goes to the Lubbock United Area Way. But we couldn't do it without our partners. We couldn't do it without many of you that plan the tournament here every year, and so we thank you for that. So thank you, AJ.
Go deposit that, AJ. All right. Thank you to the United family for their consistent and ongoing support for Lubbock Area United Way and the United Ways across their territories. And thanks to the many companies who continue to show their support and participated in the Golfless tournament. Now I'd like to welcome to the stage Matt Stevens with Prosperity Bank, who chaired this year's 13th annual Live United Golf Tournament. Matt?
Good afternoon. It's hard to believe 1 month ago today, on September 21st, we held the 13th annual Live United Golf Tournament at Hillcrest Country Club. Before I update you on this year's tournament, I'd like to introduce and recognize the committee members who worked so hard to make this success, or the event, a success this year. They truly helped us create a safe and fun environment for all of our teams and players. Without them, none of this would have happened or been possible. The committee members are Val Cochran, Redmark Marketing, Lacey Johnson with OfficeWise, Kelsey Johnson, YWCA of Lubbock, Brandon Kidd, Prosperity Bank, Jordan McKay, People's Bank, Mackenzie Means, Prosperity Bank, and Trent Phillips with Jarvis Metals. Please join me in recognizing these committee members for their hard work and dedication. I'd also like to thank our friends at Alderson Auto Group for giving us the opportunity to work with the Lexus Champions for Charity. This is a tournament package that includes opportunity to play at Pebble Beach, Spyglass Hill, and the links at Spanish Bay. This was raffled off on the day of the tournament. I thank you, thanks to everyone who purchased tickets and participated in this great event. Without our sponsors, this tournament doesn't exist. So at this time, I'd like to recognize all of our sponsors. We're grateful to the people and organizations that came out at different levels. But at this time, I'd like to recognize our silver, gold, and platinum sponsors. This year, our silver sponsors are Armtech, ATMOS Energy, Citibank, Earl's Plumbing, First Bank and Trust, and Prime West Mortgage, Graco Real Estate Development, Happy State Bank, Lubbock National Bank, R.D. Thomas Advertising, Rip Griffin Companies, Southwest Bank, and Texas Tech Credit Union. If y'all will, help me thank them for their support. Next are our gold sponsors. We have Covenant Health, Lone Star State Bank, Sodexo School Services, and Unite Private Network. If y'all will help me thank them. We'd like to say an extra big thank you to our title sponsor, Aramark. They have been with us since the first year and have been part for 13. Aramark, thank you for your support. Our platinum, gold, and silver sponsors receive specialty pin flags as part of their thank you for their support. These flags flew on the course during the day of the tournament, and you can now see them displayed on the front of the stage. If you were here with one of these sponsors, will you please come forward after the program and pick up your flag to take back with you? In years that aren't 2020, golf tournaments are a lot of work to put together and have their challenges. This year, we've had some extra challenges, and I'm grateful for the hard work of our volunteers and the United Way staff. Thank you all again to our sponsors and players who came out and made it a great event. With that said, I'm pleased to announce that this year's Live United Golf Tournament raised a total of $108,610.
Thank you to everyone who participated in these tournaments. Your support is pivotal to helping us reach our goal in 2020. As you know, today marks the halfway point in our annual campaign. I can't begin to say thank you enough to the hundreds of volunteers who make this whole thing possible. It's quite astonishing how many people volunteer their time and efforts to this campaign. This year's campaign has looked like none before it, and our volunteers are rising to the task, hosting virtual meetings, online fundraisers, engaging people however, whenever, wherever they can. We all know the need is greater than ever. Our task feels monumental, but it's doable. Our volunteers are proving it each and every day. I would like to welcome to the stage my vice chairs to report on their divisions and the progress that's being made throughout their divisions. Some of these divisions are finishing up while others are just getting started, but they're all committed to reaching their individual goals to make sure our United Way remains sustainable and can keep doing great things to support the people of the South Plains. To begin, please welcome Laura Vincent with Prosperity Bank to share about special gifts and professional divisions. Laura?
Thank you, AJ, and good afternoon, everybody. It's my privilege this year to volunteer as the vice chair for the professional division. This division is comprised of supporters from each of the independent professions not in typical workplace campaigns, such as our physicians, therapists, dentists, attorneys, real estate agents, insurance professionals, and accountants. I'd like to take a moment to recognize my team working with me. Dental chair is Dr. TJ Randers with West Texas Dental Associates. Our insurance chair is Ryan Reynolds with Grimes Insurance. And our real estate chair is Janie Coggins with Next Home, along with a handful of other volunteers who are working in this division. I also have the privilege of standing up here today to represent the Special Gifts Division. Our Vice Chair for Special Gifts, Becky Jones, could not be here today. Supporters in Special Gifts represent individuals, couples, and families outside of the workforce, such as retirees and stay-at-home parents. This year's Special Gifts team leaders are Eric McKnight, Norval Pollard, Charlie Roten, and Marcia Tockelman. For the Professional Division, I'm pleased to report that our entire division to date has raised $93,052, which is 61.1% of our goal. Thanks. Givers in the Special Gifts Division have shown incredible generosity, truly taking to heart the idea that hope starts here with us. To date, supporters in this division have given $102,270, which is 124.1% of their goal. Now I'd like to welcome Brooke Witcher with the City of Lubbock to the stage to share about the Local Government Division.
Thank you, Laura. The Local Government Division includes Lubbock County, the City of Lubbock, and Lubbock ISD. Lisa Thomason is chairing the City of Lubbock's campaign, Phyllis Underwood for Lubbock ISD, and Natalie Harville for the county. I'm incredibly proud of our local government employees. They've devised all sorts of creative ways to come up with extra funds on top of the employee pledges, like drive-through lunches and socially distanced carnivals. I'm happy to announce that the local government division has raised $164,718, which is 46.5% of our goal. I just want to say thank you to all the employees. Please welcome Meredith Imes with Texas Tech University. She's here to share with you about the State Employee Charitable Campaign.
Thank you, Brooke. Good afternoon. Each year at this time, the State of Texas employees have the opportunity to participate in the State Employee Charitable Campaign, also known as the SECC. In the Lubbock area, this campaign is administered by the United Way and is held at the same time as the United Way annual campaign. Our volunteers involved with the SECC have put a huge effort this year to encourage state employees to give locally and support the Lubbock area. In addition to Texas Tech University, our campaign includes the Health Sciences Center, the Texas Tech System, the Texas Department of Transportation, the Lubbock State Supported Living Center, and many other state agencies across Lubbock and the surrounding communities. I'm very pleased to announce that the state employees are off to a great start this year, raising a total of $368,303, which is 49% of our goal. Now, please welcome Ryan Curry with TXP Capital to share about the corporate division.
Thank you, Meredith. Our division is made up of generous businesses, large and small, who make corporate donations, including dollar-for-dollar matches for their employees' workplace campaigns. We have an incredible group of volunteers helping us this year. We'd like to recognize our team leaders who have led this charge. David Cruz with Barricades Unlimited, Jamie Gibson with Citizen State Bank, Chris Mandrell with Citybus, and Kelsey Tubb with Citibank. Each team leader has a group of volunteers who have been working since August to connect with businesses seeking their support for this year's campaign. We're off to a great start this year, and I'm excited to announce that we've raised $710,131, which is 72.9% of our goal. Thank you. Now please welcome Kelsey Johnson with the YWCA of Lubbock to share about the Loan Executive Division.
Thanks, Ryan. Good afternoon. The volunteers in the Loan Executive Division, as well as Tyler Young's Jumpstart team that helped get the ball rolling this summer, worked together to raise over half of the total campaign goal. Together, this group of volunteers helps to support the majority of the 200 workplace campaigns. Loaned executives support companies every step of the way, and this year have taken on the challenge of helping companies transition to virtual with the tools that the United Way team created to help campaigns run smoothly. I'd like to recognize my 2020 team leaders, Abby Bricky with People's Bank, Dusty Clayton with Lubbock National Bank, Keith Patrick with Friendship ISD, and Clarissa Sanchez with the Texas Tech Health Sciences Center. Would y'all give them a round of applause? I'm proud to announce that with the hard work of many volunteers in the Loaned Executive and Jumpstart divisions, that to date, employees across the South Plains have given $1,805,286, which is 57.9% of our goal.
Thanks, Kelsey. And thank you to all of our outstanding volunteers and our great supporters who have given so generously. I'm always in awe by your dedication and commitment to the United Way and our community. And everyone has really stepped up this year to help make this campaign a success. You get the urgency, you get the need, and I cannot thank you enough. Now, every few weeks, the campaign cabinet and I meet, and each time I remind them that it is in my nature to be pessimistic. Probably a great irony then that this year's campaign theme is Hope Starts Here with me, with pessimism. Hope is the light that keeps us going in these turbulent times. You're proving it, even in all my pessimism, that we can stand socially distanced, but yet shoulder to shoulder, to bear each other's burdens and walk forward. I am pleased to share that to date, you have given $3,502,996, which is 61.3% of our goal. Thank you for your phenomenal support, but we're not through yet. It's important we meet this goal because it matters to thousands of people right here on the South Plains, your neighbors. Many people who have never needed assistance before now. It's important to keep the United Way and its community partners sustainable to ensure that we can help continue to help these thousands of citizens. There's 6 weeks left in the campaign, and we still have more than $2.2 million to raise. Your support is critical. Not to get too pessimistic, we've got a way to go. We've got to get there together. Thank you to everyone who joined us today as we mark the midpoint of the annual campaign. The final report meeting is planned for December 1st. Please keep up with social media for updates. Please keep up with us on social media for updates, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your day.